Hey everybody, David here, and I am back with another video. And we are going to be talking about in this video some springtime beast performance fragrances. And with this video, I tried to change it up a little bit by giving you all some fragrances that probably you don't hear much about. I really wanted to change this up. It could have been easier for me to just put Green Irish Tweed on here, to put Bleecker Street, but I wanted to give a few in my collection I haven't really talked about on the channel yet, but that also can provide you that performance to go 8 or 9 hours or even 10 hours per se for this springtime. Because if you're in the U.S. currently, it's turning into spring, and especially where I'm at, first day of spring was yesterday or possibly today. I can't remember. But I just wanted to shout out to these 5. And I wanted to give this one all types of price ranges. So I got a niche one that's pretty reasonable price at discounters. I got 2 niche fragrances here that are pretty high up. And then I got 2 designers that are very cheap at discounters and won't break the bank. So I wanted to mix it up. I wanted to give a little variety to you all because I know it's hard times and we don't have a lot of money to spend on fragrance, but I just want to touch on these 5 springtime fragrances. But, you know, some of these fragrances you can use all year round or in summer as well. But I just wanted to tell you that these are great springtime beast mode performance fragrances. Now, they might not project like you'd like. When you think about performance, you think of projection. But these right here will get you through that workday. Will even be pumping off the skin maybe a little bit longer than that full 8 hours or 9 hour workday. Just got to try them out for yourself. And I will say, this is based off my skin chemistry. It's not based off, you know, anybody else's. So always sample, sample, sample. Now, if you want to check out any of my fragrance reviews or the Flavor of the Month series after this video, feel free to check that out. Greatly appreciate any support towards the channel. And if you're trying to up your fitness game or start your fitness journey, go ahead and check those fitness videos out after you watch this video. Now, let's hop in to these springtime beasts. First one we're going to be talking about today is from a house that I'm so wishy-washy on their fragrances because sometimes I feel like the performance is there, sometimes I feel like it isn't. I might be going nose blind. You don't know that is a thing, going nose blind. Your nose can be sensitive to some certain type of scents, but I even had somebody else smell this scent and it was there. It was, you know, pretty good on the longevity, which is what the video talks about. But sometimes this fragrance, I've had people smell it, they're like, no, I don't smell it at all. So this one is no other than Elysium Eau Intense. So I'll kind of put my hand there so you can see it. Kind of got a little stick right here. I didn't want to buy the full bottle at the time. It was sold out. And this one has got a lot of notes in it. With Raja Parfums, they always have a lot of notes in their fragrances. Eau Intense is no exception. This one, you're going to get a big blast of rhubarb and citrus off the top. That citrus is going to be coming from the grapefruit, at least to my nose. It's very citrusy, very fresh, a little spicy, a little woody. I will say the woody and the spiciness kind of goes towards that dry down. I do get the spiciness off the top as well. It is an aquatic. I'm just going to throw a few notes at you. So at the top, you got grapefruit, rhubarb, lavender, lime. In the heart, you got apple, jasmine, orange blossom, tuberose, and blackcurrant. And in the base, you got black pepper, cedarwood, cypriol, dry woods, and gabaldon. And overall, like I said, this fragrance has got so many notes in it. This is a very good performer from time to time off my skin. Like I said, it varies. I don't know if I go nose blind, but I would recommend you getting a sample and trying this out. If you like your grapefruit very grindy, if you like the rhubarb note, the rhubarb and the grapefruit is what I get off the top. I get them mixing a little bit, and it creates something kind of very citrusy, I guess you could say, and fresh. And I don't know if the lime comes in with that as well. I do get a little bit of lavender, but I will say be careful with your sprays on this. I have sprayed it once or twice, and I do get like a not a BO, but like a bitter smell. It's really bitter. It's not grindy anymore. It goes like really bitter, really sour. Sour is the best way I can describe it. But I do enjoy this one. I enjoy pouring it out from time to time, and that performance is there with it. And eventually I will get a full bottle. Very enjoyable scent. It's not going to be offensive to anybody around you, but it will get you through 8 to 9 hours in a day, I will say. And that's what this list is all about. That beast mode performance, what we're looking for. But also, you got to think with the beast mode performance, you also want it to smell good. You don't want it to smell like purely BO and go from there. But when this one dries down a little bit, it gets more woody. I don't really smell much apple. I get more of the floral aspect with this because it's got orange blossom, lily of the valley, May rose, tuberose, and jasmine. I get more of the floral as it gets into the mid, and then as it dries down, it turns into a woody scent, and there's a whole bunch of woods in the base of this fragrance. So starting off this list is Elysium Eau Intense. Beast mode. I will say beast mode. All right, next one is going to be on the cheaper ends of things, and it is from a car brand, and it is no other than Bentley Silver Lake. This one's a very nice cheapie at discounters. This one is going to smell like the discontinued Acqua di Gio Essenza, which I like that one. But this one's a very enjoyable scent for me. I really like the bottle. It's a fingerprint magnet, though, this bottle right here. Got to be careful of that. But it's kind of got like a grayish gradient on it, too. It kind of turns blue. But I have not been let down by any of the Bentley fragrances. For the price you can get them at, I really want to get there's one in the line I really want to get. I forget the name right now. Can't really remember. But this one's going to be fresh, aquatic, green, synthetic, and citrus. And I will say, in the early part of spring, which we're currently in right now, you kind of want to have those greener fragrances. And then as it gets hotter, that's when you kind of want to go in the more fresh setting of things. And I'm not saying green fragrances can't work in the summer, but they work perfect in that early springtime, I will say. This one, you get a little citrus. It's going to be a little synthetic on this one as well, but the price can't be complaining. This one's got lemon and peppermint. It's got violet leaf, pink pepper, and lavender in the heart, and then the base it's got amberwood, white musk. And as this one dries down, I do get that musk coming out. The lemon is prominent in the top, and the green aspects from the peppermint. It's a green peppermint. It's going to give you that little green feel to it. And overall, this citrus is a very appealing citrus. It's not something that's going to put you off. It's not a grindy. It's more of kind of on the Acqua di Gio DNA kind of citrus. So not grindy, kind of smooth, kind of sweet a little bit. I will say, like I said, if you smell the Senza, which that one's been discontinued for a while, this one's very similar to it. But again, the performance is here on this one. It's going to get you through that whole workday. It's going to get you 8 to 9 hours, which is very impressive for the price of this one. That performance is there. Very good alternative to the discontinued version of the Acqua di Gio, which is Bentley from Men's Silver Lake. That performance, like I said, it's good. It smells good. It won't be offensive to anybody. I cannot recommend that one enough for this time of year. Next one, this is one I had some samples of, and first time I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. All I was getting was woods, and I was like, man, this doesn't really smell like what I thought it was going to smell like. Then I sprayed it, after I got my nose onto a few things, I set it away, sprayed it again. I was like, okay, this is a little bit better. And then when I got the bottle into my collection, I was blown away about how good this was. And it is no other from the House of Mancera, and it is Oud Lemon Mint. Nice bottle, nice gradient to it. And this is a fragrance where the name says it all. It's got oud in it, it's got lemon, and it's got mint. And I will say in that opening, you're going to get that big blast of mint, big blast of lemon. And this one easily is going to get you 8 to 9 hours. This one could even go 10. I sprayed it on at 6 a.m. and I came home around 9 last week when I wore it. And I'm still smelling it. It's going to be a compliment puller for sure. Can't get tired of that smell. It's got a magnetic cap to it too. Oud Lemon Mint, moving really fast up in my Mancera collection, one of my favorites. And I will say, all three of these will get you compliments if people can smell them around you and everything like that. These are ones that are not going to be very offensive to anybody. But the Oud Lemon Mint here, it's in the name like I mentioned, and that oud gives it more depth to have that freshness stay around. It's citrus, fresh, woody, sweet, and spicy. And you're going to get the spiciness from the atomizer here. I get it. I get it. And this has got lemon, almond, black pepper, heart. It's got mint, jasmine, oud, and patchouli. And then in the base, it's got amber, white musk, leather, vanilla, and vetiver. And I will say, I'm going to get the oud in this fragrance throughout its whole lifespan. I am going to get that white musk. As it dries down, you get a little bit more of that coming out. But man, I didn't think anybody could smell this one. Like I said, I was 6 or 7 hours in, and I was having people say, "Hey man, what is that? That's a good fragrance." It's got, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, you got oud in it?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh," he was like, "Okay, I could tell." So, oud, lemon, mint, that freshness is going to be there for a while there, and that mint's going to be there for a while. Like I said, in the name, it's got the lemon at the top, the mid, it's got the oud and the mint, and then the base. Mainly, I get the musk and I get that oud. So, very good fragrance for the spring. This one is a summertime too. You could probably wear it. This one could probably be all year round one as well. Oud Lemon Mint by Mancera. Cannot go wrong with that one. Next one, this is going to be a cheapie from discounters. Under the radar per se these days. And it's from Abercrombie and Finch. And it's First Instinct Extreme. You could go with the OG First Instinct. This is not too much at discounters. I can't remember the price off my name, but I don't think it's over $40, $50. And this one's really different from Fierce, what they're known for sure. And I will say this one lasts longer off my skin compared to the OG. That's why I didn't put the OG on here. And this one's going to go 8 to 9 hours again. I will say out of all these so far, these two would probably be the longest, followed by these two. But these two would probably get you around 8 hours per se. This one, 9, 10 plus off my skin. But this one is a very good cheapie from discounters. It's not, I'm saying $40 to $50 is cheap, which, it isn't cheap. But compared to this, it is cheap, okay? Compared to this and compared to the next one I'm about to bring out, it is cheap. So this one's fruity, spicy, sweet, synthetic, and citrus. And off the top, it's got gin tonic. And then it's got like a melon vibe to it. And the melon is Kiwano. Hopefully I pronounced that. And that's what gives it that melon vibe up top. Really fruity, I will say, off that top. And that gin and tonic gives it a freshness. Kind of helps out with that melon. And then in that mid, that's when you're going to get those citrus notes coming out. And the Szechuan pepper, not black pepper and violet. And then the base, that amber and suede. That's going to help it give it that performance, that suede and that amber. It's going to turn into a more ambery scent as the scent dries down. And as the scent dries down, that citrus is going away, that fruitiness is going away. It's going to be more sweet and spicy as you go through the life cycle of this. Easily 8 hours with this fragrance. And to be surprised, I'm kind of surprised, it's really juicy, fruity off the top with that melon kind of feel with that Kiwano, hope I'm pronouncing it. And that gin tonic gives it that freshness. Even though it's not listed off here, it's just a good combo for this springtime currently to wear this one. And that base is going to help it perform for sure. Last but not least, this is one that a lot of people talk about. This isn't my favorite freshie from the line, but I like pulling this out from time to time. It's a very good performer. It's going to last as long as these, kind of what I mentioned before. And this is no other than Parfums de Marly Greenly. It gets related to apple shampoo. You guys know. And this one's a very good green fragrance. I really enjoy it. My favorite currently, I did do that review on Perseus. I haven't give it full wear, so I can't say on the fresher side of the Parfums de Marly list where it stands. But this one's, I would say, my third favorite. I will say I like Sedley a little bit more. I'm kind of ashamed it doesn't perform as much as a blue fragrance. But my number one is Percival in the fresh line. But Greenly is very nicely done. Like I said, smells like green apple shampoo. And this one's going to be a no-brainer. Out of all these, this one's probably the most known for a spring fragrance, what I will say. Like I said, I didn't really want to include the, Green Irish Tweed, the Bleecker Street, but I added this one. I just haven't talked about it much. I've talked about those two on the channel quite a bit. So at Greenly, it's green, fresh, fruity, citrus, and woody. at the top, you're going to get that green apple. You're going to get some bergamot. You're going to get green, or no, not green. You're going to get mandarin orange. In the heart, you got cedarwood, petitgrain, violet, and in the base, you got amberwood, musk, and oak moss. And as this fragrance goes through its cycle, it's a very linear fragrance, I will say. Doesn't really change much. It's going to give you that shampoo feel, kind of what I mentioned before with that green apple. But as that green apple dries down, it's going to turn in more of a musky, woody scent, as you can tell from the note breakdown here. And I will say that freshness remains throughout the whole lifespan of this fragrance. It's just the woods are going to come out a little bit more as it dries down. But this one's going to get you 10 hours of performance, at least off my skin it does. And out of all these, I will say these are the three that give me the best performance, and then these two aren't too far behind overall. And I really enjoy wearing Greenly, pulling it out from time to time. That apple smell is enjoyable. It's something that nobody's going to be put off with. And that is always a complicated thing when you find performance fragrances. Usually you want to find something that's going to be appealing, it's going to smell good, and at the same time it's going to get you for that full work day. And I know how important that is to some. You know, some really like compliments, some really like performance, some really like the artistic feel of fragrances. But Greenly will get you that performance that you're looking for in that springtime. And yeah, everybody, so here is my 5 Beast Mode performance spring fragrances, kind of what I mentioned before, off the beaten path other than this one right here. These 4 I don't really see much talked about with them. I know Aulam and Mint's pretty popular, but I don't really see much about these 2 cheapies here. Let me know in the comments down below what your Beast Mode springtime fragrances are, or if you've tried any of these fragrances and what you think about them. I'll be really interested to see or hear what you all think about these, or what your springtime Beast fragrances are. Now, with all that being said, I will see you on the next one, and have a good rest of your day.